Anunnaki. How many mysteries and riddles lie behind that simple word? Who are they?
The Invisibles. This race is known to have been seen near high security areas. They are almost completely invisible to the naked eye. Both the USA and Russian military have developed technology that allows them to track them down on radar. 3 things are known about this race. 1. They leave a sour smell when they are near. 2. When they are near windows you can't see their reflection as a smudged-like figure. 3. When many dogs start barking with no apparent reason, it is possible that they are nearby. They come from constellation Mensa. Purpose of presence unknown.
Simulations. These simulations are, we might as well call them reality, or you could call them multiverse. Well, when we create a simulation, it's a distillation of what's interesting about life. So, let me tell you, if you see an action movie being filmed, it's boring. Super boring. There's like lots of takes, everything's in a green screen. But once you add the CGI and have great editing, it's amazing. So, I think most likely, if we're a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation. Because why would you make a simulation that's boring? You'd make a simulation way more interesting than base reality. You know, even if we just sort of existed as humans forever, we'd still eventually, that'd be like the heat death of the universe. Or civilization will end. One of those 2 things will occur. Civilization, if you count it, if you're very generous, civilization is maybe 7,000 or 8,000 years old, if you count it from the first.
So what it says about zombies in the Bible, Zechariah 14:12 through 13, and the Lord will send a plague on all the nations that fought against Jerusalem. Their people will become like walking corpses, their flesh rotting away. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. On that day they will be terrified, stricken by the Lord with great panic. They will fight their neighbors hand to hand. Now this refers to the mighty power of the Lord that will be used at the second coming of Christ to destroy the Antichrist during the Battle of Armageddon. This is a power which the world has never previously seen before, at least in this fashion, except for maybe in movies. The weaponry used by the Lord will cause mental discomfiture. Now if you go to the CDC website and search zombies, it actually brings up a zombie preparedness guideline. Go check it out.
But what about the city of the day after tomorrow, say the year 2000? I think it will be completely different. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, I'm not thinking of the atom bomb and the next Stone Age. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London. In fact, if it proves worthwhile, almost any executive skill, any administrative skill, even any physical skill, could be made independent of distance. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point, and the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for man would have ceased to make any sense. In fact, men will no longer commute, they will communicate. They won't have to travel for business anymore, they'll only travel for pleasure. I only hope that when that day comes, and when the city is abolished, the whole world isn't turned into one giant suburb.
This is one of those facts that people are going to get a gut reaction to, like, oh, that's cap, that just cannot be true, that's impossible, bro. But if you spend 30 seconds Googling, you can clearly see that there is an official FBI document from their own FBI.gov page that claims that Nikola Tesla was dropped off to Earth as a child from the planet Venus. Nikola Tesla's inventions were considered to be 300 to 1,000 years before his time. There's not a single piece of absolutely modern equipment that we have today that cannot be directly tied to his patents or research. Without Tesla, we would be 100 to 150 years back in time with our technology. Look this up for yourself. Run a Google search on Nikola Tesla FBI unclassified documents from Venus, and you'll find it in 30 seconds.
According to your contact with the Apunians, why is Earth so important to them?
According to the experiences that I've had with these beings, the Earth is important for extraterrestrial civilizations who visit us, because it is a world school, a planet laboratory, a place of learning, a planet that in fact is involved, connected to ancient stories of extraterrestrial origins.
What is their role in the relationship to Earth and humanity?
All experience in our world, according to these beings, is also related to them. Everything that human beings can learn on this planet has an effect on cosmic knowledge. Allow me to give you an example. They say that a child in this universe has 3 main levels of consciousness. Once it achieves individual consciousness, consciousness within itself as a human being, it acquires consciousness of the Earth, of the planet. I had a training for almost 3 years in order to see one of these beings for the first time. This training consisted of meditation and concentration techniques. I changed my paradigms, my perspectives about possible encounters with extraterrestrials. And at the final stage of this training, these beings suggested that we go to the mountains or deserts completely alone for several days, under all types of conditions, so that we could face our fears, our loneliness, so that we could hear ourselves. I went through all of that before I saw them for the first time.
What other types of contact are there that you can share with us?
Aside from these physical encounters that I always describe in my interviews, one of them that we discussed is the dimensional portals. Another is telepathic or mental communication. Another way of contact is through the dream world, where you can project your consciousness to other realms of reality, even though it sounds unbelievable. Many esoteric groups call this astral body projection. There are also contact experiences that are stimulated by sound, whether through mantras or power words, as was done in ancient India, or through music, just like what happened at the end of the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which, by the way, is based on real events.
There are, of course, the 3-dimensional contacts that you have, but there's also interdimensional contacts. Can you explain that?
Basically, there are 2 types of dimensional portals and contact experiences with extraterrestrials. The planet's natural ones, as we spoke about in another episode, and the artificial ones that these extraterrestrial beings can generate.